Good morning, everybody. How are we doing? It is 6 a.m. Well, give or take a minute or two, and it is time for another episode of the Procrastinator's Guide to Life. This is your daily wake-up call, I guess. Well, it's certainly mine, anyway. I'm an early riser by nature, I guess, and one of the things that I've come to enjoy is that bit of peace and quiet, that bit of undisturbed ground that is that early morning, that 5 a.m. to about 7, before the kids are up, before the day's got going. And it's a place where I can get all the stuff done. And I thought, well, actually, why not do a bit of a live show? Now, there are plenty of people up around at this time, and there are lots of the early risers, and we really have I love this time of day because it feels like an opportunity to get stuff done. So I started this show. We're now sort of, we're coming up to a month of doing this now, and I thought I'd spend a little bit of time this morning reflecting on what that's been like, because I wanted to be sort of building this in real time, as it were. Now, our guest today, hello Bev, how are you doing? I'm speaking to Bev later. I'm looking forward to that. Our guest this morning is Sandra Hoope, who is somebody I've known for ages, actually, and she's going to be coming and talking to us about sales pages, which is something, because I quite like to get the balance between the personal development stuff and the business development stuff, because so very often they go 100% hand in hand. And a couple of days ago, morning Ruth, how are we doing? A couple of days ago we had Anne Dement coming and talking to us about tapping and using that kind of emotional freedom technique, EFT tapping, which is a sort of a very much a science-based technique for helping us manage traumatic and difficult situations. I thought it was a really great a really great mix of the two things that we do. We have people coming in and talking business, people coming in talking the good personal development stuff, because actually I think if this last year is sort of this last 12-month period has taught me anything at all, it is that you cannot, if you are in this space, you cannot have one without the other. You need to be balancing out those two forces, because so often I think the kind of the stresses and rigors of running your own business can be quite harsh, and so you need to be mindful of you as much as of the business. Hello, good to have you here. So, what are we doing? What are we doing this morning? Well, like I say, I'm not sort of doing a tip as much as giving you a little bit of a rundown of how things have gone so far. So, what's been good? I have loved doing this show in the morning, and it has genuinely been a sort of an opportunity for me to make a little bit more of my mornings. It's become part of my routine. My ambition is to do a show every day. Now, what I have found in the not so good column is that actually that is more complicated than it seems. So I'm debating whether or not this goes down to 3 days a week on live. So we do Monday, Wednesday, Friday as a live, and then Tuesday and Thursday as a pre-record, just simply because what I'm noticing is that actually it's the sustaining it in that live way, which is quite difficult. So I think I'm going to be making some small tweaks. I might even toy with the idea of having a couple of days of the week later in the day, so that we're sort of talking to a slightly different audience. So maybe doing a kind of a lunchtime thing. So, Monday, Wednesday, Friday is early mornings, and the afternoon is kind of, and the Tuesday and Thursdays are perhaps later in the day. So we can maybe draw some more people in. So there are some tweaks to be made. And I think this is important to remember, that this doesn't, these kind of activities, they can change, and you don't have to feel bad about them changing. You have to be able to roll with it a little bit. And I think setting immutable sort of boulders of kind of content creation in front of you can be pretty daunting. So if you don't give yourself at least the opportunity to modify things, and I'm not changing things radically. I mean, the thing essentially stays the same, but it's just wanting to make sure that this fits in around my life. So I think if there's any tip today, it's that my job is video. That is my job. So doing this is kind of almost core to my job. But for the majority of people, video isn't your business. So one of my goals is to be seen on video every day. That is kind of, it's important that people see me kind of taking my own medicine, and it's important for me that I am doing that as well, because if I'm not, what good is it if I'm not doing what I say are good things to do? Then why on earth would anybody trust me with their projects, with their video strategy? Now I'm going to see if I can find Sandra, because I will. Let's just send her the link again. I'm very keen to bring her in a second. So. So the wonderful world of kind of live video is kind of, I think, here is going to be, it's going to be here. I'm going to be doing it in the mornings, and it is going to be, but I'm going to sort of add into the mix this kind of twice weekly later in the day. Probably kind of still morning, actually. I think we'll still do morning, but we will do it maybe sort of in the kind of the early sort of oh, Sandra's saying she's in the waiting room. Oh, I can't see her. Oh. Can you see me? So we might have a little bit of a technical fluff here. Can you see me? I have to reload in a second. Let me try. Hang on, Sandra. I'm sorry. I'm just refresh. See this is here's Sandra. There we go. There we go. There we go. I can see. So now, okay. So we're very lucky this morning to have an incredibly lovely person coming and joining us. Not only a lovely person, but also somebody who's incredibly knowledgeable and amazing at what they do. So I think I met Sandra ten Hoope about, gosh, it was back in early 2020. Remember back then? And I think we met on Danny Wallace's course. I think we'll clarify that in a second. But I've massively enjoyed sort of spending time online with Sandra. At some point, we'll get to meet in person. But I'm going to read her bio, because this sets the scene very well for what we're going to do. Meet Sandra ten Hoope, your sales page sous chef, which I love. Sandra is a certified master persuader who helps online entrepreneurs like you create sales pages that convert. She will review your page and make suggestions for improvement. Where you are great at what you do, Sandra is an expert at helping you craft a juicy sales page. With a great sales page, you'll get your offer out there sooner and have an easier time converting those all-important sales. Stop waffling and start selling. I don't know if I can start waffling, but I should certainly give it a try. Good morning, Sandra. How are you?
Good morning, Tom. I'm so happy that we get to meet again.
Always, as always, I'm very, very happy to meet in whatever capacity. So, how are you?
I'm good. Obviously, for me, it's almost lunchtime. We're 1 hour ahead. I'm a
Yeah.
early riser, as are you. So, when you started this show, I felt like, oh, finally, someone gets my biorhythms. That's wonderful. So I'm good. It's a sunny day here. It's not as warm as I would wish it to be. Very lush thinking. I can't truly enjoy my pool, even though it's heated.
Oh,
But there you go. Life's little luxuries. And
yes.
I do agree. I think we met through Dunny on the Be Inspired course.
I was trying to sort of pin down in my mind when that was, and it was. I think it was. I'm almost certain it was that first or second run of her, what is now her sort of signature course now, and back when it was those early days of COVID, before we all knew what was going on.
Yeah, well, the thing was, I met Dani because it's everybody knows everybody through something, and I met her through Lisa Johnson. We were in a mastermind together, and I just celebrated my 50th in February 2020, and a week later, I set off by Eurostar to London to have a lovely lunch with a friend on a Sunday, and on the Monday we had the mastermind day. And I already figured, given the news talking about this virus making its way towards us, that it would be tricky, maybe even for me to enter or leave the country. I even took my shower slippers, so to speak, and some extra undies, and because I thought that the train might be derailed and I'd end up in some sort of waiting center in Essex. And wow. I dreaded the idea of having to go to a communal shower without my slippers on. So I was well prepared. So it's the Monday. We have the lovely mastermind day with Lisa. And I get into the Eurostar in the evening. I make my way back to Amsterdam. And 2 days later, the world shuts down.
Yeah. Wow. That was a close call. But at least you got that last
we did
face to face with people before everything
and the other day, a week ago, one of the ladies made her way to Amsterdam, and we haven't seen each other since. Because the thing was, like yourself, I entered the Be Inspired course to be on stage.
Yes.
At some point, well, that never happened because of COVID. I was sort of zoomed in at some point to speak about what was my big angle then, and still is one of my main messages, my book about toxic relationships.
Yes.
So way before I entered into the realm of sales pages. And I was able to do an interview through Zoom, but I never made it to the stage, but maybe one day. But I did get to meet lovely people like yourself, Tom. And if people are wondering, what did Tom bring to Sandra's equation? Well, the fact that I'm speaking to you all now, because I was not the one to be seen. I dreaded the idea of being on a live, of being on a video, of doing any of this stuff. But then this wonderful gentleman, he brought out the course, and I went through it, and here I am. So that is what happens if you sign up with Tom. You shed the fear of being seen.
I'll take it.
So there you go. That's why we're here today. And I realized yesterday.
Hello. Oh, hang on.
I was speaking to one of my mentors about, if you take away all the fluff or all the waffle, in my case,
yes.
What is it what you really do? And I really want people to shed the fear of bringing their message out.
Yeah.
So in that sense, we're both sort of in the fear atmosphere because there's so many people out there, like I say in my bio, who are a master at their art, at their business. But when it comes to showcasing that in this deemed scary online world, they sort of freeze. Because what they learn in a course or a program, you build your audience and you set up your messaging, and that's all going well. They are comfortable speaking to their audience, they're comfortable working with their clients and talking about it. And then it comes to launching, and then it comes to the sales page.
Yeah.
And people freeze.
Yeah.
Then they're handed a template by said mentor or coach, and they start filling it in. And it doesn't really feel like them, but that's how it should go. So they also feel it should be a 30-pager. So they don't know, they find themselves falling into repetition on what they do and why they do it. They spill out the 28 steps of their program or all the details of the modules, and they throw it out there, and it doesn't have the same result as they would think, given the size of the audience or the clients that they work with. And then they are just like, why? Well, very simply, because the template might be useful, but it's not their unique voice. Also, what they don't realize is that every day in a post that is about the business is already a little fraction of what could be a sales page. With one of the other ladies that I met through the Lisa program, I worked on her sales page last year. So she and her assistant had gathered all the things together that they learned that they would have to comprise into this big thing that was the sales page. And I read it, and I thought, there's something missing. But what I always do, I go to someone's Facebook profile or whatever other social media profile they have. And as she and I are friends, same day that I was doing the review, a wonderful post lands in my feed. And it had it all. It had it all, because it was really who she was and what she was trying to do for her clients. And I was missing from the sales page. So that's what I said. I said, why is this post not there? Well, because it had elements that are not mentioned in said template. So a lot of people are very afraid when it comes to sales page, whilst they're already doing it. I think it's the same like a lot of people have conversations with their clients, even online. It's all going well. Yeah. But then when it comes to the idea of doing that sort of in public, like we are doing now, speaking to someone, or speaking on a video or doing a live, they freeze. I think you encounter a similar problem that people are doing the thing, but it seems so much scarier if you put it in a little bucket of it being a video or a Zoom. Well, same as for me. A lot of people are getting more and more comfortable with speaking or writing about what they do, but do not mention the sales page words, because then it all gets scary, and it need not be.
Yeah. And do you think that this is, so I think we're at a really interesting moment with kind of marketing content generally, because we've got all these AI tools which are coming in, and they're brilliant at some things, but they're very, very bad. Well, not very bad. You have to do a lot of training on them, training of them in order to get that voice. And most people aren't going to do that. So I think what we're possibly seeing is people sort of generating these sales pages, which just you read them and you think, who or what has written this? It doesn't feel like a person. It doesn't feel like the person I'm reading it from.
Exactly.
What's the risk there?
Yeah, because people, if you work with your clients or you show up for your audience or you're building your community, people get a sense of who you really are, be it through a video, be it through the words that you write, be it through the work that you do with them. And then AI comes along. I asked AI questions about my business, and then it claimed that it was owned by Ariana Huffington, who I truly admire. And, Ariana, if you're listening, it's up for sale if you wish it to be, because she's the kind of person that I would trust my audience with. But just to give you a small example, obviously I know that's not the case, but does the general public know? The thing is, if people were to say to me, if I ask them for a draft and they have got no idea, I'm fully fine with them using AI.
Yeah. Yes.
They can also come to me. I have access to a wonderful AI tool that is a combination of like general AI and then a tool that's built within sort of the program of being a certified master persuader that looks at the AI piece from the persuasive perspective, from emotions that you wish to evoke in your clients, and makes a combination, and then it can be rewritten fully by a certified master persuader to fit the the person's program. So you can utilize AI, but it is a tool and nothing more than that. But if people are like, they can come to me and say, I've written this, or AI has written this for me. Can you bring context to it? Yes, because it's not about the text, is it? It's about the context. It has to fit. So if people are like, Sandra, I love you, and I would want you to review a sales page, but I have no idea. You could ask AI, given what you do as a business owner, to prepare you something, give it to me. I'll look at who I think you really are by going through your socials, by speaking to you, and we'll come up with something beautiful together.
And I think that is the really the absolute truth of this, isn't it? You're bringing an understanding of the nature of the person, because ultimately I think the truth is that if we click on a sales page, on some level we're ready to buy something, because you're sort of, and it is about that persuasion, isn't it? You're not looking to persuade somebody, I guess, who isn't ready to buy. But if you're browsing, probably on some level you are thinking, well, yeah, I'm kind of interested in this. You wouldn't have clicked there if you weren't, unless you're just nosy, I guess. But
exactly. And people shouldn't mistake persuasion for sleazy sales.
No, absolutely not. No.
Car sales.
Yeah.
It is a gentle art if performed well.
Yes.
But what we truly wish to do is not for our offer to speak to everybody, to be a tell-sell thing, so to speak. But for those, like you say, who are clicking, who are reading, who are following you, when they feel that an offer is for them, when they open that sales page, I wish for that client to recognize itself within the first 5 to 7 lines. Yes. Because ultimately it's about them. So it should all be about I always use from the Netflix series Lucifer. What is your true desire?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously Lucifer itself, but there you go. When it comes to other offers, we want to evoke the same thing, and it has to be shown in the first 5 to 7 lines. Because if people come to me, they say, I wish a sales page. I wish for you to do my sales page. But they don't really just want a sales page. They want the freedom that comes with knowing that part of their business is taken care of.
Yeah.
So they have more time doing what they love doing, which is serving their clients. It's as we say in the land of persuasion, it's all about the benefits behind the benefits.
Yeah.
It's never the one thing. What does the one thing do? The best example, I was in a mastermind, and in exchange for testimonials, I was reviewing sales pages. And there was this lady, and she was a food therapist. And she said it so well. If you come to us, after those sessions, you'll be able to dance the night away in your favorite shoes.
Yes.
And that is it, because they don't come for the treatment itself. What does it bring? And for every sort of offer that you have, there is a moment of dancing the night away in your favorite shoes. And that is what I would wish to be seen in the first 5 to 7 lines. I mean, that's what I mean with stop waffling, because the offer itself will get them somewhere. But I want that to be showcased. What is the where? Way less than the how. You don't have to outline your 26 modules in your sales page, because people just want the end result. And sometimes that is an end result that I didn't even think about, because when your foot is aching, you're thinking, I want to stop the ache. That's the first thing that you think you need. But you need for it to stop so you can dance. So the so you can dance part is what I am good at.
Yeah.
Sourcing from what people bring to me. And I've always done that in previous courses and masterminds, just by sheer intuition. And now I have a certificate to prove it. But it's still it comes so naturally to me in a mastermind that I'm in now. Last week, a lady was speaking about her new offer, and I hear her out, and then I say, so just to be clear, your ideal client, yada, 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 yada. And then the mentor said, good thing we've got this on record, type it over on the replay, it's there. That's what Sandra said. So that's what I do, because I wish for every person, for every business owner, to really own her magic, to really, or his, what they always say, your unique selling point, to really find it, own it, and shout about it.
Yeah. So if we were to sort of look at what you've been saying and turn it into, and we can sort of turn it into an actionable tip today for that people can go away. So would I be right in saying that a thing that somebody could do today is to go to their sales page and look and really inspect those first 5 to 7 sentences and say to themselves, if I was somebody reading this, would they recognize themselves in those first 5 to 7 sentences? And would they recognize themselves in a way that gets them going, yep, I need that? Because I mean, what I say when I'm creating video content is I want people nodding along as quickly as possible, going, yep, that's me, and feeling something inside that says, that's identified something that I recognize, that has prompted something. So, is this something we could get people to do today?
Yeah, and the thing is, people are like, it doesn't say that on my sales page, or I don't even have the sales page. Go to like 3 to 5 either videos or posts that you've written, and look at the comments, look at the questions asked.
Yes.
And also, when you work with your clients, look at the language that they use, because their true desire is there. So I don't want people to freak out thinking, oh gosh, it's not in my sales page. Oh my God, I don't know how to. It's already there. It's just not, you've just not searched for it where you think it be.
They can be hiding in plain sight, can't they?
Hiding in plain sight, like with my friend's Facebook post. It was the perfect sales page, so to speak. Because I was given a link by one of my mastermind buddies, and she said, there's a friend of mine and she's very shy of making a sales page, and maybe you could help her. And I opened the post and I said to my buddy, I said, tell your friend just to add a call to action, because it's perfect. And there was like, really? I said, yeah, because in that post I can see what the true desire is and what your or her unique angle is to get the client there. And that's all you need. Yeah. And it can be a 1-pager, 2-pager max. If you love to write, and if you know that your audience loves to click and go through and see it all, and by all means go for 30 pages, but you don't have to.
No.
You really don't have to.
And that's a very liberating thing to hear people say, because I think we've got into this position where the sales page has to be this like enormous screed of text, and I find myself every time I have to write a sales page, I sort of find myself looking at it and thinking, can I just stop at 2 pages? And my sales pages are getting shorter and shorter because I'm not sure. I don't know. It feels like a very I do wonder if it's one of these sort of things that goes in sort of fashionable waves, and it will be back down to sort of very, very kind of massively benefit focused sales page, as opposed to these kind of things where every conceivable combination of information is presented to you in exhaustive form, and you sort of actually what you want to do is you read the first few paragraphs and then spend like what feels like an hour scrolling down to find how much the thing costs.
Yeah, also, that's what I really want to say. Get the price on there and get it on there like soon. What I always suggest is that after the first 5 to 7 lines that we talked about, name a price, name sorry, my son is just walking in. It's one of them. Yeah. You want to say hi? Go on. Because, we're all working from home, aren't we? So here's Tony.
Yes,
We're
hello,
off
Tony.
to his school soon because he's going to get his
Hello.
report for the year. So there you go. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah. It's early in the morning here still.
It is.
So after the first 5 to 7 lines, the true desire, and that you are the true desire bringer,
Yes.
just name the price and get a button there for them to sign up.
Yeah.
And then for the others who wish a bit more information, make it a 1 to 2 pager, but be honest about the price, because it does me in. Don't even make people click for the price. Just say it's this. If you want it, buy now.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that is such a I from a trust building point of view, if I can't find that kind of nuts and bolts information quite quickly, I find myself thinking, oh man, you want that information quickly. So here's the important thing: how can people find out more about you? How can people find out how they can work with you? Tell me all the details.
So you can find me on my personal profile, Sandra ten Hoope. We have information or posts on the program there, and I'll drop a link to sort of the business page there to display. And next week I'll be opening a Facebook group, Stop Waffling, Start Selling, and it will be a more information kind of centered group that is not just about me selling all the time. It's a true get together and overcome your fear of sales page, because it's attainable for everybody.
Yeah. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting this morning, and I feel like it's been an absolute age since we've kind of talked properly. But I'm hoping, actually, funnily enough, this looking at this summer, I'm going to be doing a sort of European grand tour of clients. So a detour to your neck of the woods would be lovely, and I might see if we can manage it. Because can you believe it? I've never been to the Netherlands, actually.
Awesome. We will have to get you there, and we'll show you the sites. And if the weather is good, we can have a little pool party. And we'll even do one of the shows very early from the pool.
Very early in the morning. That would be amazing. Right. Well, what we'll do is we'll get all your details out there on the post. But thank you so much for being with me this morning, and I would implore everybody to go and check out your details, because actually what you've been talking about this morning is so critical. If those of us who are selling primarily on the online space, that moment, that place where people are buying from you, you've got to be persuasive. Like you say, you've got to be persuasive in that gentle way, and what you've said is wise and right. So, Sandra, thank you so much for being with me here this morning. I will see you on the other side in a second. So,
thank you so much, Tom. It's been a true pleasure.
Bye-bye. Well, wasn't that lovely? It always is. So there we go. We've covered a bit of ground this morning. I'm not sure I got to any point of kind of resolution with my tip for you this morning, but if it was anything, it was really around kind of just the simple act of giving yourself a bit of space and freedom when it comes to the structures you build around your live content. But Sandra really brought the fire this morning with her tip around sales pages. And actually, one of the things I'm going to do is start looking at my sales pages, because I've now I've got a number that have been built out over the years, and I think a certain level of dissatisfaction, which we probably all have, if we're honest, with those kind of resources in our business. We're very rarely 100% happy with them, but I think having someone like Sandra look at them and bring her expert eye to them is something that's incredibly valuable. So thank you so much for being here with me this morning. I will see you tomorrow morning. God, is it Friday tomorrow already? Oh my word, it's like I don't know where this week has got to, but there we are. But I will see you tomorrow bright and early for another episode of the Procrastinator's Guide to Life.